Come into the room, 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 come into the room. Come into the room, please. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so let's get to it. It is what it is. I'm as on time as I can be. She's an on time YouTuber. Yes, she is. Okay, I'm as on time as I need to be. Welcome. Thank you for being here. My name is DanieSteel. This is DanieSteel, the home of the Purple Prince, the home of happiness and healing. All right. And the home of keeping it real with DanieSteel. All right. We do it all. We do it all. Okay. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about a topic close to my heart. It took it being close to my heart for me to, really get on top of this stuff for myself, and I hope to help someone with my own testimony. Amen, church. Okay, with my own testimony, and also some psychological concepts that I've learned over the years, because again, one of the things I stress on this channel is education. I stress it. And that's why the foolish and the uneducated don't want to be here. Because nobody explicitly told them what to do. So they get away with being foolish and clownery, right? Because no one explicitly told me, right? As if they're a child, as if adulthood, is only important. Adulthood only works if you were explicitly told what to do as a child to be an adult. Elsewise, you can do what you want. No accountability, right? Those people don't, they don't want to be over here with the Steelies. They don't want to be with the Steelies. Oh, my world is here. Hello. Hello, my world. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? So I've stressed before, and I'll continue to stress the importance of education, the importance of knowledge, right? Angry people are people without tools. Angry people are dumb people. I'm just being honest. Now, you can get angry, right? But to be in a constant state of unhealed anger, violence, predatory behavior. These are people who can't make sense of what? Because they won't bother to do the work. All right? That's why a child hits, because a child doesn't know any better. And when you know better, you do better, right? And to me, adults have no excuses. I don't care if you were explicitly told this or that or not. I don't care. I promise you I don't care. All right? Your trauma is not your fault, is not your responsibility. Your healing is. You don't get to hurt other people because you want to act like you don't know any better. You don't get to do it. All right? And this Christmas, your family doesn't get to do it to you. Okay? And this Christmas, okay. Y'all love to play that song, but what else? What else is there? Can I get the gift of peace? Can I get the gift of not another struggle plate? Can I get the gift of healing? Or is this going to be another holiday of toxicity? Of you allowing someone to project their unhealed trauma and wounds onto you for another Christmas? I'll be damned. All right? And that's why it's been so important to me in my journey of healing, which is lifelong. It's a lifelong journey, to understand the psychology, the why. All right? I like to know how people think, baby. Now, how you talking about leveling up and you don't barely understand yourself? Other people are playing you. You can't never control why this guy, it never works out, it never works out, it never works out. How you gonna know how somebody else gonna move if you don't know yourself? Know yourself first. I believe that very strongly here. All right? So, be damned. So again, I think that learning why people do what they do is very important. Let's move into the family shame and how your family will shame you from divesting. And therefore, this is why you cannot divest. This is why you cannot heal. And when I talk about family, understand I'm talking about a term that I've also used on here before. It's a psychology term to describe the family that I'm talking about specifically. I'm not talking about you and your boyfriend or you and your husband and your kids, right? I'm talking about your family of origin, all right? The family you were assigned to at birth. The family you chose to belong to. Did you know that? Did you know that? You know, a lot of people say, I didn't ask to be here. It's not true. You wouldn't be here if you didn't ask for it. But that's another topic for another day. I can't give y'all all of it at once. Okay? It's not something y'all can handle. Not all at once. The greatness and the glory, the accountability, the power you actually have. Yeah, I'm ready for that yet. Let's stick to the topic. Your family of origin, not the family you create for yourself, but the family of origin, the people you were assigned to at birth. Okay? Because if you're trying to figure out how you can get away from the family you created as an adult, you got a big problem. You got a bigger problem on your hands, honestly, right? Like, so we're talking about family of origin here. We're talking about family of origin and those connections and those relationships, right? And what those relationships have meant to you over the course of your lifetime. Remember this, if you remember nothing else, you cannot heal in the environment where the abuse happened. Understand that. You cannot heal in the environment where the abuse happened. Do I need to say it 3 times like Umar Johnson? Or are you catching my drift? It is impossible. A lot of people will be like, I've been fat since I was a kid. Where you live now? With my mom. I love my mom. Well, your mom has infantilized you and made you food dependent. Next. If you have unresolved issues, if you have animosity towards a sibling, towards a parent, do not kid yourself into believing that that's not going to surface. That you're not projecting that some way, somehow. People aren't as smart as they think they are. Sorry, I was shouting over my AC unit. All right, I'll lower it down some now. Apologies. Okay, so it's pumping there. I think we need a repairman to come in. Oh shit, I was gonna say check my pipes. Oh Lord. I'm done. My husband's in the next room. Let's be respectful. All right, let's be respectful. Okay, so and hubby made lunch today, you know. When a man cook, he just grilled some hot dogs. Amen. He was sitting there looking at me like, yeah. I'm like, okay. All right. I know I just made a nice fish salmon dinner last night. I know that. But okay, you got a hot dog. You got a hot dog. Okay, so if you're continuously going into environments where you have trauma and unresolved issues, understand, prepare yourself. Just prepare yourself, right? Because most people don't have the mental fortitude to not be around their family for the holidays. I mean, that was me most of my life, right? Most of my adult life, right? Didn't have to go, didn't have to make the trip and spend the money, but I did it, right? So understand what you're entering into. Prepare yourself mentally to understand this isn't going to be a fairy tale, just like it wasn't the 100 other times you did it. It's not going to be a fairy tale. It's going to be another night of hard work. All right. And again, this is a topic where I'm specifically speaking to people who are going through this. I mean, you have to be very slow if you think that, like, I'm implicating your family in something if the dynamic that I'm speaking of doesn't apply. You'd have to be very slow. We deal with a lot of slow people, so I'm going to get y'all out of the way right now. This is pertaining to people who feel their families fit this dynamic, who feel their family systems operate in such a way of dysfunction. The dysfunction usually centered around a narcissist. All right? So if you have a great family, obviously I'm not talking about you and your family. If you're a narcissist, you probably won't find any of this interesting either. Right? Because narcs don't care. So once again, that's why you need to get an education. Educate yourself, empower yourself with knowledge and understanding so that you can get up out of Blackistan. Do you understand that? As a woman in America, you're the only one that lives there. They don't allow other women to live in Blackistan. You know, you got some scragglers, right? But it's good women having to live through what my therapist told me is like living in a refugee camp. That's what it's like. Living in Blackistan, living in those dynamics. You guys know I can be very soft, okay? Soft on dust here at times. I certainly don't go as hard as a lot of other people do. Blackistan, okay? Blackistan does that to you, the indoctrination there, right? And we'll get more into that. The cultural norms are things that we've talked about, cultural norms of Blackistan, of the community, right? But there's also your family cultural norms. You need to examine both of these things from an objective, outside perspective. All right? I was in a clubhouse room the other day. I shouldn't have been there. I shouldn't have done it. But you know me, soft heart, hard bottom. All right? As the English would say, hard bottom. So, a soft heart makes a hard bottom. Okay. They're talking about should non-Black people use the N-word, right? And for me, it's an obvious no, but we have to contend with the fact. And in these discussions, in these C House rooms, in these Twitter space rooms, where people are having these types of discussions, Black men will admit, by and large, that they are giving N-word passes to their N-word passes, if you will. Okay, they will admit this. They're the ones that do it. And then they want to have a discussion about if it should be done. I mean, it's just so backwards. You guys know that you are out there giving out passes. Now there's certain, it's definitely certain demographics than others, right? Location wise, this is something that definitely happens more on the East and West Coast than it does in the South. Shout out to the South holding it down, I guess, but you know what I'm saying? So therefore, you'll notice that other groups also reclaim derogatory slurs used against them, right? The LGBT community, they've reclaimed derogatory slurs used against them. They're not giving non-LGBT members a pass on that. Do you understand that? You shan't pass. You're not getting a pass on that. Period. And if you don't believe me, look what happens when people do. Your social media is going to be taken down. You're going to lose your job. It ain't a game to use other groups' derogatory slurs against them. But these men that want submission, they want submission from you, but they've handed out inward passes like candy. Make it make sense. So, Tana's here. Hello, Tana. Thank you. It's good to hear from you. Good to see you. Appreciate you. All right. So, that don't add up. It don't add up. So I come in, of course, with the stance of absolutely not, point blank, period. I didn't even use the word around other people. And the first time I heard that word in public, in a space it shouldn't have been in, because it wasn't the hood. I never heard people using the N-word outside of the hood when I was growing up. And then you move to New York and you're on a bus on the Upper East Side, one of the only black people on the bus, and you're hearing in this and in that. Turn around, it's a bunch of white and non-black kids, right? So we do all of this work on some dignity-ish, and then they throw it away. They throw it away on clownery, on fucking clownery. I'm supposed to be out here working for a man? For what? For y'all tore it down. You talked about reclaiming the word and then you gave it away. That's not how you reclaim a word. So I'm in a room explaining this, and anyways, because it's run by clownish, immature ass males. Thank you. Shout out to I was gonna say Deborah Messing. What's her name? What is that black woman's name? April Mason. I was gonna say Deborah Messing. Close. April Mason, right? She just recently did a video. I might go over that later, where she, explained there's men, there's males, right? We're dealing with a lot of males. Male time! We're dealing with a lot of males. Here's the male, it never fails. It's a lot of males. So I'm already in here doing the work for you because y'all the ones that are giving the N-word passes away to my boys who held me down, and I got friends from all over who they not black. This is what black men are saying in these spaces. They're not black. My friends, they held me down more than a black person would. So what? So, and then I'm supposed to be the one that holds it down, right? And takes the L for how y'all failed to reclaim that word. Do you understand? You tried and it didn't work. All right? Other groups can show you how they reclaim their words. You can't say their words. In South Africa, it's illegal. People were telling me while using the N-word, oh, but where I'm from, it's illegal to use derogatory slurs. But I'm going to use yours, right? Because ha ha, he, key, right? Because they gave it away. So, you got to understand that when that word triggers you, that ultimately it cannot be a word that is illegal. because they popularized it on some reclaiming it-ish, and then they gave away inward passes. So when you get triggered, understand that that's what happens. You're going to keep getting upset and riled up like you don't understand what happened there. You can't use other people's words. Every group of people has a derogatory slur, but everyone's saying yours. That's protection. Understand that Blackistan is not just a place. It is a mindset. It's a lot of really great level up ladies. I call them level up ladies that really taught me this year, because I was on some, not wanting to point out the obvious-ish. I said, well, hey, I get it, but I'm not going to point it out. But it's too obvious at this point. Don't tell me to fight for you when y'all sitting around chilling. Fight for yourself. Fight for yourself. Get your mindset focused on you. You as a woman. You as a Black woman. And if you have children, you and your children. Not being male identified. Right? And I've never been male identified. But the point is, I still don't go hard as I could. And I think that that's lost on a lot of the dust here. I don't go as hard as I could with a lot of the facts that I know on some code that y'all don't maintain in reciprocity. This code I'm supposed to be on, y'all not on that code. Everybody that talks about the code is identifying with their sex first. These guys will talk about a code, but there's no umbrella, the people code. The code is put the man first, right? So they're in this room acting a clown, acting a fool, and I'm trying to help you motherfuckers out, and you're wasting my time. And one dude gets on and cuts me off. Look, let me tell you something. I don't do with that shit. Did you not know that? I'm not one of these little girls that will allow a man to cut me off. So, okay, so you have control of the mic. The only power you have in this whole fucking country is control of that mic. I'll leave the space. You can have your foolery. Y'all don't get paid to be in these spaces. You're not doing shit. Pretending to talk about topics that matter, which is what brings me into the space. But the whole time it's a clown show. Right? That's Blackistan. That's Blackistan. A fucking clown show. Because it's all a fucking game. Y'all know they love to play games, right? Everything is a game. Everything's a game. You know why there's no other group of men in this position? Because no other group of men would allow themselves to be in this position. You look at it now. You don't see a bunch of other groups of men online like that. It's women's work, talking is women's work. Building is man's work. And I'm addressing more strictly in this little rant here the foolery that happens online. It's just too much foolery. It will never be defended. I will never defend, sympathize with that kind of fucking foolery. You can miss me with the can't we have fun? We just want to have fun, which is what Black people who needed to position themselves into a better situation instead of hating on me. When I told them, okay, well, let's work on, did you know that I don't play around? Did you know that I get shit done? Let me show you how I get shit done. Now we just want to have fun. So shut the fuck up. So shut the fuck up. You just want to have fun? What are you complaining about? You got to make a choice. So they chose fun. So let them have it. Let them eat Little Debbie snack cakes. All right? And the rest of us who want to use our brains, who are smart, who are Steelies, we're going to be critically thinking. We're going to be objectively thinking. We're going to be healing. We're going to be leveling up. Period. And take a look around you. Those are the only people. We're in a state of Darwinism. Those are the only people that are going to make it. And if you're a woman regurgitating male-identified talking points, you're not one of the smart ones. You're just not. So, again, you can't heal in the environment where the abuse happens. You need to get out of there. Stat. You need to look at being there, not like, well, this is me and my family. Look, like I said, I grew up in the hood. All right? My great-grandmama house was in the hood. That's where I had the best moments of my youth. The most loved I felt in my grandmother's house, in my grandmother's arms. All right? She didn't belong there. She belonged in the suburbs where everybody else gets to play and thrive, who works hard. So, and that's why I said, emphasize it. She is my great-grandmother. When we talk about things in place that are the reason why Black people have to live in the hoods, because for years they made you, okay? And what that does to someone living in environments like that. I always knew growing up in the hood, I gotta get the hell on out of here. People be like, oh, what you mean you don't want to be here? Nobody wants to be there. That's why y'all faves from the hood is no longer there. No, let's cut the cap. That's just like when I did one of my favorite videos that I've ever done, top six strippers doing better than you. And people are like, oh, you hating on, bitch, I've been to strip clubs. Why would I hate on a stripper? I've been to strip clubs. I endorse these strippers. I've endorsed these strippers. What are you talking about? I'm hanging out with strippers, baby. No, that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is they don't want to be there. That's why they moved up in life. That's why Cardi B, Nene Leakes, Amber Rose, that's why these women, Black China, that's why they don't stay in that life. And Blackistan is like that. That's something that you have to understand when you're going through it. Yes, my family's here. I love my family. I don't belong here. There's something greater for me, without a doubt. I don't deserve to see broken bottles and corner stores everywhere, and that's life, right? So get out of the environment, get out of the mindset. The men are the men, and men can take care of themselves. What you don't want to do is be infantilizing men, okay? They will not like you for it. That's why y'all in the situation that y'all in. Because you infantilize someone and they figure out that you've essentially handicapped them, for lack of a better word, they're going to take that out on anyone they can. And what do we see happening, right? So keep that in mind. Blackistan maintains the status quo by shaming you. Now, if you're like me, when you go home for the holidays, if you're trying to level up and you're on that level up lifestyle, right? It's a lot of, oh, where you get that from? Oh, that's nice. Oh, you dating a white boy? I never thought you would date a white boy. Like, really? How come nobody had this conversation when you was dating a white Hispanic guy? Why? They're like, because they're like us. How is a white Hispanic person like you? How is a white Hispanic person from a different country like you? What are you talking about? Right? Toxic family systems have to protect. Understand this when you're going into this environment. Again, this is for the people who are going into these environments. If your family life is perfect, congratulations. We're so happy for you, right? Whatever restaurant little song you want for that. Congratulations. I'm trying to help people who are going to be going through this holiday season. Okay? Toxic family systems have to protect the most toxic family member. All right? So when you're going home, who's the most toxic? The most toxic family member of all. Who's the most toxic family member of all? But do you recall? Do you recall who's the most toxic family member of all? Can you recall? Because they're going to make it all about themselves. And if you don't make it all about them, you're in the way. Right? Is that toxic family member a man that was physically abusive? A woman who was verbally and emotionally abusive? A narcissistic sibling? A flying monkey sibling? Sometimes they're the worst. Who is that for you? Keep an eye on them. Okay? Be ready for the mess. Because they bring it every year, and you know this. Okay? Hi, Fred DK. Good to see you. Okay? Toxic family systems have to protect the most toxic family member, or they have to face their own abuse. And that's something that flying monkeys, codependents, pick-me's, golden children, they're not going to do. They're not going to understand that. As you sit there being like, wow, this was messed up. And because if you're going to get to that place of leveling up, of hypergamy, of healing, of divesting, you will have to come to terms with what is and is not functional. You're going to have to come to terms with what was toxic, what was dysfunctional in your life, and why you can't repeat that behavior, and why you can no longer afford to repeat that behavior. I'm trying to get you to the level up. Welcome to the show. If you're in the room, thumbs up the video and subscribe. I'm trying to get you there. They're not going to allow you to come up into the family dynamic, this toxic family system, this toxic family cultural norm that has been established for how many generations now? Your daddy, mama, you realize how she kind of ratchet too. She didn't really do her job. That's why this dude abandoned his kids. The auntie that want to borrow money, and you in college. You see what I'm saying? It starts there. Does it not? Soon as they see you doing a little better, Then they want to say, ha ha, ha ha, y'all got a net worth, y'all got an average net worth of $4, and y'all got an average net worth of $4 in a food stamp. What's up? $4 in a food stamp. $4 in a food stamp. Okay. Whose fault is that? Head? Lead? Whose fault is that? Or who do they blame in other groups when things go bad? The man. Okay. So, you're not going to get some sibling that's going to let you cry on their shoulder and you think, oh, it's all gully. And then guess what? Y'all going to sit down to eat and your mama going to have an attitude. And you're going to be, why is she giving me an attitude? It's almost like this thing that I told my narcissistic flying monkey brother not to tell mama. It's almost like she knows. But how could she know? I told the flying monkey brother, I told him not to tell anybody. He's an adult. He can handle that. Certainly he can handle that. He's a fucking adult. But that's not how flying monkeys work. The flying monkey's allegiance is to the most toxic family member. It's not to the family member who breaks the code. It's not to the family member who breaks the generational curses, who breaks the generational trauma. It's to the toxic person. That's what everybody's allegiance is going to be to. And I don't care. And these people will tell you they're people of God. These people will tell you they are people of God and behave this way. These people will have studied psychology themselves and behave this way. Understand that. Healing is not for everyone. It's just not going to happen. Most people just get through life. They don't have any interest in healing. And then you want to come in and change that dynamic. They're not going to let you do that. And you coming in and you flossing and you flexing because you work hard and you got a good man. Okay? That's not going, people are not going to celebrate you. They're not going to celebrate you. Now, if you come in with your walls up and your guard up because you understand that, they're going to say, well, you had an attitude the whole time. If you don't come with that, they're going to rip you apart. Either way, you're not going to be unscathed when it comes to the toxic family. So inevitably comes the accusations, right? And the accusations are, you're toxic, you're selfish, right? You're selfish. Welcome, everyone. Ban Up Live says, my family member apologized for being at Thanksgiving. She said she is beginning to see her. Wow, that's really great. That's really great for you, Ban Up Live. Now, the reason I'm going to withhold on saying that word is for censorship purposes. I do have to maintain community guidelines. I'm a partner, okay? But we see what you're saying. And you know what? I think that's really great because, believe it or not, apologies are rare. Changed behavior is even more rare. So I really hope that she lives up to what she's saying she's going to do, because even if I've gotten an apology from people, I rarely get changed behavior. So that's, that's always the test of it, right? Disappointed Dinosaur says, I sure wish that more young Black girls could hear and digest the message that your wonderful platform and others like yours are delivering. Thanks. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Disappointed Dinosaur. I'm sorry you're a disappointed dinosaur. KRBK says, Ban Up Live, that's great. I have not had that experience. The responses I've gotten are so disheartening. It's like they're doomed. Exactly. They'll try to throw an exorcism on you, right? They're like, get out, spirits. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm trying to tell you guys that there's a predator in the family, right? Oh, they'll come for you. They'll come for you. Name that predator. Break those family secrets. Hey, Naima, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thank you. Can y'all hit the like button? Shit. Oh no, it's totally fine. Go ahead and right away, as long as you're, respectful. I'm not trying to tone police other people because I don't like that. I mean, I think the atmosphere is we understand each other enough, but I'm just saying why I might self-censor. Okay. Barely Sane Society says, this is a great topic. Thank you so much, Barely Sane Society. I've been through it, and I'm telling you why I've empowered myself. Why, this might be one of my best Christmases yet. Ha! This might be one of my best Christmases yet, okay? Because everything I'm telling you, I'm not like a lot of people that jump on here with a bunch of ideas in their head and they haven't practiced that, all right? Me and my husband will be vacationing this Christmas, okay? And, I'm finally in a place where I acknowledge the limitations of my estranged family members' healing, okay? And that takes work. Because when you work hard to heal, the first thing you want to do is go run tell. And you go run tell, you're so excited, right? And being like, I got it, y'all. Right? Sounding like Michael Jackson in the 70s. Hey guys, I got the answer. It's divesting and leveling up. Right? And you think that people are going to be happy that something that has helped you, you're sharing with them. And that's not the case. They're going to ostracize you for it. All right? There's people on here that talk about leveling up and divestment. If they come over to my channel, they'll steal my talking point. Won't give me no credit and act like they knew it, but their life doesn't reflect what I know. Only my life reflects what I know. Okay? Your life can only reflect what you know. People will come over here, steal the talking points, other content creators, or they'll just catch an attitude because what I'm saying is hitting home, and they haven't done that work yet. I'm deep in the game. I'm not a part of the divestment movement. I'm already there. Do you understand? I'm already there. So I'm not moving with a movement. I'm already there. All right? And I come to warn you. All right? Ghost of Christmas past, present, and future. I come to warn you. All right? There's levels to this ish. This video is actually a part of my Divestment Hurts. This video is part of my Divestment Hurts series. I told y'all that ish hurts. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt when it heals too. It's gonna hurt when it heals too. Understand that. I was so happy to come run into my family like little Michael. I got it, guys. They were like, what you talking about? Everybody treat me like they Joseph. Oh my God, everybody Joseph? It's not a Janet or what's that one dude? What's the guy? Right? It's no other members of the band. Just me, little Michael, and a bunch of Josephs talking about shut up. Killing my mouse. Okay? Trying to kill your dreams. And you love your family and that's all you know. Right? And I haven't gotten into why you're so attached to your family. So let's get into that. Self-differentiation. Something the Black community is strongly against. Self-differentiation. What is self self-differentiation. Well, let me read you a definition of self-differentiation, okay? Because people love to come out here and be like, that definition. There are multiple definitions to things. Let's start there, okay? A definition of self-differentiation is that self-differentiation involves being able to possess and identify your own thoughts and feelings and distinguish them from others. Understand that, we got Percy Percy's here. La, la, la. What's up, Percy? We've missed you over here, Percy. It's good to see you. Hello to the host and our beautiful subs. I look forward to some family, but the other half is thugs and gangsters. Okay, Percy is a man with common sense. Thank you so much for the super chat, Percy. Good to see you. Appreciate you. Right? Everybody want to pretend. They want to pretend like they came up with gangster culture. Y'all didn't. It was the Irish. All right. Now see y'all walking around pretending to be Irish with your little hats on. Okay? Y'all didn't make this up. Italians. Okay? Irish and Italian people. They were the original gangs of New York. There's a movie. Again, you don't see no black gangs coming around because y'all didn't have the ability to have gangs. Okay? So things like that, right? It's like, stop assuming an identity that's not meant for you. That's what we try to emphasize when we talk about no longer playing the mule. No longer playing the mule and the Tammy, right? Stop accepting a role. See, I don't accept roles that are not for me, okay? There's been roles where I was like, whoa, this looks foolish. This looks ridiculous. This looks like it's not making black women look in a good light. I don't take roles that are not meant for me. Self-differentiation involves being able to possess and identify your own thoughts and feelings and distinguish them from others. That's why me being an empath, that's why being an empath, a true empath, not somebody that's like, sometimes I feel sad. That's not being an empath. A true empath, right? Our problem as empaths, especially when you're in Blackistan, is that you cannot self-differentiate how you feel from how others around you feel, right? And it's easier to do that when you're a child. As you get older, it becomes more solidified within you. That's why you have so many of these pick-me's in the manosphere, which I call the man-woman sphere, because it's a space for men and women. And again, the white manosphere is just men. But the man is the black man-woman sphere has men and women, right? And these guys are going to these women to help them understand how to be better guys, I guess, males, how to be a better male, right? So when you're an empath, you're going to have a hard time self-differentiating. When you're in Blackistan, you're going to have a hard time self-differentiating. It's a process of not losing connection to yourself while also holding a deep connection to others, including those you love whose views may differ from your own, right? Because if you were completely self-differentiated, you wouldn't even be here. You wouldn't be on YouTube looking for a comment, right? If you were completely a self-differentiated person, right? You would be like some robot that was like, I do not need human companionship, all right? But you're not a robot. You're human, and you want attachment to something. And the problem when you get attached to things is you lose the ability to self-differentiate your needs from the needs of the toxic family that you're in, the toxic family cultural norms, the needs of who is pedestalized. You protecting women that don't even look like you. Everyone's protecting them Who's protecting you? You're worried about what the man wants and the kind of woman he gets. Who does that? Who can go on and on talking about the needs of someone that they don't identify as? Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen it anywhere else but the Manny Pick-Me sphere? All right? I don't see not one other group of women that are on here being like, and you better give our men this, our men deserve this and that, and the women that don't do it like that, you got, I mean, even ultra conservative YT people don't do that. Their women don't do that for their men. So the pick-me sphere is very indicative of the power of the pedestalization of the men, of the power of control and dysfunction in Blackistan and in individual families. It's very indicative because they lack the ability to self-differentiate. They don't feel a difference, though they may see it. They do not feel a difference between the needs of these males and their own needs. And so to them, their needs are the needs of the males. Well, the males need to be glorified 24/7. They must be glorified 24/7. It reminds me of addicts, right? It reminds me of addicts and this opioid crisis. I'd be happy to, I can help some of these addicts out. I really can, because I grew up through this thing. And they didn't do for Black people what they're doing for people now that are going through this opioid and another, hardcore addictions. Okay? But one of the things that some of these addicts will say about a specific drug, right, is that they'll say it's better than sex, right? It's better than sex. And I think about sex, okay? You think about, more specifically, right? I think about the O, okay? And because they'll say, right, it's like an O. And I'm like, so you need to constantly feel an O? You can't just get a little buzz. You need to constantly feel an O. And that's what it is when you put men on a pedestal. When you infantilize males, it's a constant O. And they're not going to be happy if you try to take that away from them. And it's not normal. It's not normal to be that validated for no reason. Okay? So again, Blackistan is going to encourage enmeshment. All right? What do we see all the time? They are constantly encouraging enmeshment into Blackistan. It don't matter if you was born in the suburbs, right? It don't matter if you're 1/4 Black. Blackistan wants everyone to get on board with the Blackistan backwards-istan mentality. It's backwards-istan mentality. And they want everyone on board with that. We've talked about hip-hop on this channel. Y'all know I love hip-hop. But a lot of hip-hop music has contributed to that, especially from the early days. A lot of media. This is not excuses. These are facts. I don't make excuses for no one. The facts is Black people disproportionately watch TV. My therapist was asking me the other day, she's like, what kind of TV shows do you and your husband watch? I mean, she was like, oh, you guys like bond watching TV? I was like, we don't watch TV. We watch select TV shows. Okay? So we used to watch The Walking Dead. We didn't finish that. Okay? Game of Thrones. Joe Exotic. Tiger King. Okay? And now we're waiting for The Witcher to come back. And or The Last Kingdom. We're waiting. And until those shows come back, we're not watching any shows. All right? They kept trying to get you with Squid Games. They're like, come on, Squid Games, Squid Games. I was like, no, I never heard of Squid Games, right? Finally, I gave in. I was like, let's sit down and watch Squid Games. Yes, it was on the money. You see what I'm saying? I don't waste my time with TV. Epic shows. If it's not an epic show, I don't care to watch it. But y'all sit down. I remember one time I came over, visit family once. It takes 8 hours to travel up to where my family is. I get there. It's not, everybody doesn't sit around to talk with me, ask me how my trip was. They turn on the TV to watch a Kevin Hart comedy special. A Kevin Hart comedy special? It wasn't even Cat Williams. It wasn't even Dave Chappelle. Cat Williams. I mean, Kevin Hart. A Kevin Hart comedy special. I've never seen a Kevin Hart comedy special, but for when I visit my family. Because that's what they want to do. They don't want to sit down and talk with people they haven't seen all year. They want to watch a Kevin Hart comedy special. And let me tell you something. One of the first things you should ask someone, especially when you're dating, but even if you're just vetting them on friendship, is how much do you watch TV? Because if you watch TV all day and all night and you're not a writer, because see, I do watch other TV shows as a writer. That's something completely different. Completely different, you guys, completely different. No, almost no one else is doing that, okay? Tom Cruise said he wouldn't let his kids watch TV at all. A lot of these celebrities, you see what I'm saying? A lot of the actors, they understand the conditioning, the indoctrination comes with TV and film and music. And they heavily monitor what they allow their kids to do. But the rest of y'all can get indoctrinated. Y'all can get brainwashed. Okay? I remember growing up, Baby Boy, I'm like, come on, again? Baby Boy, again? I hated it. Okay? I hated it. I absolutely hated Baby Boy. Now, I like Jason's lyric. That was one of my, it is what it is. You're growing up on, the classics. But Baby Boy, for some reason, I couldn't stand that movie. I could not stand that movie. And they played it all the time. I would sneak away and watch Dawson's Creek. Okay? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. And they're like, look at you watching Dawson's Creek. And? Okay? Probably saved my life watching Dawson's Creek. Shout out to Pacey. Shit. So, let me take a look at some of y'all's comments. Rachel says, what about family who just loves to gossip? That, Rachel, yeah, and you'll find some of the most gossipiest ones are the males. You'll find that because these males are narcissists and they like to pit women against each other for something to do, to feel power when you have none. Worst thing you can do is be around a man who obviously wants power and obviously has none. That's not the worst thing you can do. So absolutely, these dudes love to gossip. They love to gossip, and of course you have the women family members that you just know. You say one word to her and she gonna tell everybody. She gonna tell everybody. See, one thing that I'm gonna assure my children is if you tell me something, if you tell mama something, you don't have to worry about going to Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner and everybody knows. You don't have to worry about telling mama something and then 5-10 minutes later, you got a voicemail or a text message from the person that you was talking about. And they sitting over there looking like a dumbass clown, talking about something, what you mean, Are you an adult? You are given a piece of information. Now, see, what I like to do when that happens is remind them of information they never even bothered to tell me. That's what I do in situations like that. I'm like, wow, well, how would you feel if I told everyone that you blah, 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 blah? Yeah, you ain't know, I knew that, did you? But I know, no one else here knows, just me and my observant ass self. What if I went and told everyone that private moment of yours, that confidential secret of yours? Would it hurt you? But what you did was okay? Because we family? Take your old dumb ass on. All right? You got to fight fire with fire. I'm telling you, if you don't, be ready to be ran over for life. Now, we do it differently here on the Steelies. All right? Steelies do it differently. If you're not going to stand up for yourself, then stop complaining. It takes work. We teach people how to treat us, and I'll be damned. Okay, if you're in the room, please thumbs up the video and subscribe. Barely Sane Society says, luckily, as far as I know, there aren't predators in my family. I'm Caribbean, so maybe it's not out in the open. Interesting. Yeah, definitely. I was a very observant kid, and I was made aware of predators very early in my life. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, as far as I know, there's really been no accountability to hold those predators responsible for the things that they've done. And so my children will never be in environments like that. And that's point blank in the fuck period. My dog will not be in environments like that. Okay? Oh, you change. You different. Y'all don't even know me. I was the dark-skinned sister growing up. Everybody called me the dark-skinned sister. A bunch of dark-skinned Black people called me the dark-skinned sister. Y'all don't know me. Would barely remember my name because it wasn't a cool name. Danielle. Okay? And then what did, white people do to me at PWIs? Why do you have a white person's name? I'm like, that's a white person's name? I thought it was French. Danielle de Barbarac. You heard of her? Okay, so anyways. Ban Up Live says, I thought she was doomed until she said she is starting to see. I'm not sure who you're talking about. I'm not seeing them this holiday, though. I do miss some of them. I feel you, Blue Blue. Blue Blue. I like your name, Blue Blue. I feel you. It's like, again, what I've come to terms with is understanding the limitations of my family of origin, their limitations in healing. We're not going to be on the same journey. And you will respect me, okay? Or it'll be fight night, because I will no longer tolerate. See, everybody wanted to fight, and old D would stand off on the side and be like, hey, guys, acting like little Michael Jackson again. I don't know why that's before I, got on my healing journey. I was acting like little Michael, trying to break stuff up all the time. That's ignorant, Blanket. Joseph, no! Right? Doing it all. And it's like, nobody's watching out for me. Nobody's thinking about me. Nobody even cares about me because I spend all of my time playing the role of the black sheep. If you're the black sheep, where do you take accountability for playing that role? Where do you take accountability? If you're an adult, you can't say you just have no control. You can control something. And I firmly believe in fighting fire with fire. I firmly believe in bullying a bully. I don't know how else to communicate, but to be reciprocal in my actions. People let me be like, why are you so mean? Why were you so mean? You got to start there. All I do is mirror back to you what you're giving me. It's not my fault if I do it better. It's not my fault if I do it better. See, I can be mean too. So where do you take responsibility when people are ostracizing you, belittling you, being condescending to you as an adult? What you will or will not tolerate. As an adult, you must set boundaries. It's very simple. Only successful people set boundaries. I'll just be honest. If you're not a successful person, chances are it's because you have no boundaries. I used to be a person that had very little boundaries. As guarded as I was, if you ended up getting close to me, you could basically do and say whatever you wanted. God damn, like, am I gonna get a trophy? Just a fucking Grammy? What do I get for doing that? Nothing. What you get is, and I've told you guys before, you see what happens when you lower yourself and play mediocre for the mediocre. What happens is, and you can see it here on YouTube, people will hate you even more. People will go at you with even more vitriol than they would ever feel within them, right? All of a sudden, people who never bullied anybody a day in their life will be bullying you because you want to play mediocre. And that will incite people to bully you. Did you know that? That will incite them. It's very similar to the Ken, what's that experiment with the police officers? Ken. Oh, he upstairs. Anyways, there's an experiment that was done with making regular people police officers, right? And they weren't police officers. This was a study done with a test group. Ken,
yeah.
What's that study with the police officers called?
Are you thinking of the prison experiment?
The prison experiment.
Stanley Milgram's prison experiment.
Who?
Stanley Milgram.
Stanley Milgram's prison. Who?
Stanley Milgram.
I just said that. Okay, Stanley Milgram's prison experiment. Okay. See, I understand people. I understand how people move. That's why I'm not easily impressed. They made two test groups of people. One, they made the prisoners. They were not real prisoners. The other, they made the police officers. And as the days and weeks went by, they saw increased aggression in the people playing the police officers. And the people that they chose to play the prisoners, they could walk away at any moment. But they stayed and tolerated this abuse. You understand why some guy can't just run up on me and tell me any old thing? I'm at a higher place. I understand what people think that they can get away with. And I set boundaries immediately. So earlier I was telling y'all about that Twitter space I was in. Again, old dude tried to mute my mic with a little bit of limited power he has in this life. And I left the space immediately. I left the space and multiple people came and messaged me and were like, thank you so much for what you had to say. You know, yeah, right? I'm like, more people are paying attention to me right now than you, bruh. But see, I set the standard immediately. The moment you disrespect me, I'm gone. The moment. The very moment. I don't have shit else to say. And I do this in real life. I can be talking to somebody. They say one thing, I'll walk away immediately. I won't say shit else to them. Not like a family or friend, but like, you know, a stranger, an acquaintance even. You know, I don't owe you shit. You don't know how to act? Oh well. I'm not gonna waste my time. See, I'm able to detach. That's not a problem for me. But again, a lot of people feel beholden to the enmeshment of the community, right? Because they make you feel like if you don't behave exactly like this, you are not a part, right? Because remember, people who have no power will gatekeep their own people to play pretend at power. You can't gatekeep something I'm innately a part of. It don't work that way. But they try to do it every time, right? They do it to LGBT black people, right? You're not black enough. They do it to nerdy black people. You're not black enough. You're not doing it like that. You're not doing it right. Right? They'll give out the N-word pass, but then they'll go tell somebody who's obviously black, you're not black because you're not doing it right. That's why I gave out the N-word pass to my buddies that held me down. They grew up poor, so I gave them the N-word pass because that's what's being black. Says who? Says you? How will you ever accomplish anything if your definition of being black is being poor, is struggling, is living in deplorable conditions? How will you ever aspire to greatness? Oh, because they said I could be a rapper. So now everybody trying to be a rapper. Or if you're a woman, everybody's trying to be that IG thotical, right? Not seeing or talking to any biological family this year for the first time, so freeing. You know what? Exactly. I went through the same thing. And yeah, you know, I mean, it's not my first year. It ain't my first rodeo. Okay. And after a while, they'll start to pretend like you know, they set all of that up, right? Like they're not the toxic ones. You're the toxic one because look, they can all get together and you just don't know how to forgive, right? I'm not Jesus. Go to the cross if you want forgiveness of sins. I don't have to forgive your sins. No, I don't. All I got to do is make you aware of my boundary and let you know, unfortunately, you didn't pass the test. Now get the fuck out of my face. That's all I got to do. Okay, you didn't respect my boundary. I'm not going to interact with you. Goodbye. That's all I got to do. Okay? They have this new blacks term, right? For black people that grew up in the suburbs and have more liberal leaning views, right? They're the new blacks and they learned how to be black on college campus, right? Because oftentimes you'll see them coming to an understanding of what life is like, of what these systems of oppression, of how that impacts black people in the hood. A lot of black people in the suburbs, they come to a realization of all of this in college, right? They're learning a lot of things in college that they're able to articulate that black people in the hood are like, well, I lived it. So y'all the new black. No, you guys are black people that lived in the hood, and these are black people that live in the suburbs. We're all black. Black doesn't look Actually, black looks one way, having dark skin, okay? And generally Afro-textured hair. That's what black looks like. That's it. It's a race, it's a social construct, it's very simple, right? But again, if you're suburban black, nerdy black, LGBT, new black, a black woman that dates interracially, right? Then Blackistan wants to gatekeep your blackness whilst it gives out inward passes. Bars, I didn't even intend to do that. They want to gatekeep your blackness while they're giving out inward passes. Make it make sense. Banna Bly says, Melinda Sadler, they're going to guilt you, but stick to your story. I did the same years ago. It takes the pressure. It takes off the pressure of obligation, a commitment to those that don't give a hoot about your views. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm telling you guys. Like, be ready. Be ready. Because it's not, you're going to go home for the holidays and you're going to be like, I'm ready. I prepare myself mentally. And so nothing's going to happen because I'm going to do everything right. You can't do everything right to someone committed to proving you wrong. You can't do anything right to someone committed to proving you wrong. And what do we see here in these YouTube streets? We see that these black male content creators and their pygmishas are committed to everything a black woman says who doesn't repeat our dysfunctional talking points, who doesn't live by our dysfunctional talking points, right? They're other, they're different, they're undeserving. So you see it. It doesn't matter what you say, what you do. I've always been very objective. I've always pointed out I work hard on anti-racism. None of that matters. I don't see any of these pick-me-shas in spaces where we're dealing with anti-racism. That's the real fucking work of the community. But no, everyone's talking about who black women are effing. And if you didn't pay these women to repeat your talking points, males, they wouldn't. You have to pay them for it. You got to pay them something. You got to pay them attention. You got to pay them these cash apps, these super chats. Period. Amon-san says, thank you. Yeah, it took me many years to actually separate myself emotionally from so-called family, but after my aunt threatened my life, that made it a lot easier. I'm just happy that I have friends. Good for you, Melinda. Exactly. Like, these people are raging. They are raging. They are unhealed. They don't understand that they need to empower themselves with education and knowledge to heal. So instead, they just sit and rage like fools, because only a fool would sit around and rage instead of empowering themselves to make better choices for themselves and their lives and their people, etc. Right? So I refuse to be around somebody that don't want to pick up a book. Did you know that? I keep telling you, reading Rainbow over here. Take a look. It's in a book. It's in a book. And if you ain't reading Rainbow, I swear to God, I don't want to be around you, because it means you're hostile. You're volatile. You don't want to learn. Something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you if you don't want to learn. You want to repeat talking points that are false. You're a dummy. Okay? It's hard being the black sheep of the family. Absolutely, KG3. Absolutely, because the black sheep is the truth teller. You understand that? The truth teller. It's not the golden child. It's not the narcissist. It damn sure ain't none of those mediocre flying monkeys and codependents, okay, with no personality. You got to feel sorry for those ones. They don't even have a role. They're just background for narcissists. Fodder for narcissists. That's it. That's all the flying monkeys and the codependents are, and that's all they'll ever be. But when you're the black sheep, you're the truth teller. You're the one that's breaking generational curses, acknowledging generational trauma, what needs to be changed, addressing predators in the family. They don't want you around. They're not going to look at you like you saved anything. You're going to have to create your own family. That's where divesting comes into play. That's where leveling up comes into play. That's where hypergamy comes into play. That's where strategizing and critical thinking comes into play. And you're sitting around being like, well, what would so-and-so say? They don't care. They don't care about you. What would they say? Who cares? Think about the worst moment of your life. Was they there? Think about when you finally got the courage to reach out and ask for help. Were they there? No, they weren't. That's what care is. That's what love is. Being there when it matters. So they're not there when it matters. They don't care about you. So why are you worried about what they think about who you date? Get over that quickly. Quickly. I've heard exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. They're like, it's better than this. It's better than that. I'm like, why do you need to feel like that constantly, though? Why do you think that you're never supposed to experience a bad moment? And that's what I'm trying to get through to y'all. The black sheep, the truth teller. You might have, if you're going back to deal with the same toxic family members, the same dysfunctional family systems, it's a high probability that as hard as you'll try, they're still going to find some way to get at you. They're still going to find some way to try to bring you down. I always knew that one day they try to bring me down. They're always going to find a way to bring you down because that's their job. That's their objective. Understand that. Man, don't you know I would go around toxic family members? I mean, every year I do something different. Every year, different hairstyle, different look. Okay, they mad that I'm skinny. Let me put on 50 pounds. Oh, surprise, surprise. Now you're too fat. Gotta make fun of you for that. Oh, you single. You don't know what it's like to be in a relationship. Shut the hell up. You get in a relationship. Oh, but you with a white man. You think you better? That's always going to be at the forefront. You're selfish. You think you're better. Understand, when they say you're selfish, when they accuse you of being selfish, this is the most effective and the best way to derail someone from self-differentiation. Understand that. It's very clear you're on your own journey. You're your own person. You're not taking part in this toxic family system no longer. I don't care who believes in God and who's sanctified. It don't matter. They're toxic. Oh, well, so-and-so married the right person because they married black. So now everything you do, we're going to point out how you didn't marry black. Even though it's another black woman in the family, she didn't marry black neither. But they don't have nothing to say against her because she's protected. She's protected in her family structure, right? She's a distant family member. She's protected. You're right here in this toxic, dysfunctional family. So again, when they accuse you of being selfish, that is the most effective and the best way to derail someone from self-differentiation. And once you understand, I'm my own person, I don't have to give a fuck about what you eat. Don't make me poo. Okay? Who you lay down with doesn't make me hoo-hoo. Okay? And once you start understanding, you're fine with people doing what they want. I don't care who dates who. I don't care what you do. You're going to respect me, and whoever you bring around me is going to respect me. That's all I know. You're going to respect my boundaries. Respect my authority. Respect my boundaries. That's all I know. I can't tell you nothing else. Who you want to date, how your house looks, your raggedy car, your bills that's piling up. I have nothing to say about what you're doing. And I expect the same energy. I expect you to not have nothing to say about what I'm doing. And you're self-differentiating, and it's drawing attention because you're not playing your role. See, when you start to self-differentiate, you no longer are the black sheep. Now you're just the truth teller. See, I refuse to play the black sheep. If you want to try to black sheep me, we're not family. How about that? How about that? And I will regard you as an enemy because you're trying to take away from my life essence. And I hate enemies. And I'll be damned. Okay? Absolutely. That is true. The music is basically a guidebook to a lot of behavior. A lot of people don't like to hear that because they think of the music as part of the culture. Exactly. And you know, when I think of the culture, honestly, I think of Motown. That's what I grew up on. You know, Biggie and Pop, they came out when I was like 5, 6, and that's when they were like really popular, right? But that's not the music that was played in my grandma's house, in my mama's house. It was Motown mostly. A lot of James Brown, a lot of Jackson 5, a lot of Michael Jackson. These are things that I think of as more so the music of Black culture than hip hop. And understand, there's a lot of songs. I was playing a lot of songs for my husband that were in movies that people don't even realize this is Black music. People think it's white music, and it's Black music. So you have to understand that. They're taking your, it's music like, ain't no mountain high enough, right? Of course, everybody knows that's Black, but there's so many songs, right? But they're in these feel-good movies from the 90s. And these are very popular, usually 70s music groups. 70s Black music groups, 60s, 70s Black music groups, even the 50s, right? Why do fools fall in love? Why do birds sing so gay? Why do they fall in love? Okay? Oh, why, right? That's Black music. Black music. That's our culture too. You have so much to be proud of. That's why my racial esteem is high, baby. It's through the roof. And I won't allow people who haven't done that work to try to make me feel like, oh no, the culture is only one way, and if I'm not doing it this way, then they can tell me that I'm not Black. Get y'all little Black behinds out of my face. All right, we're waiting for The Witcher. We're waiting for The Witcher, and I think y'all know why. Henry Cavill, okay? All right, let's have some more hot tub scenes. Or is it Henry? Is it Cavill or Cavill? All right, I don't care. All right, Geralt. Chris Rock, yes. Chris Rock was my favorite for a long time until Chappelle came out. And before that, it was probably Eddie Murphy. Their stand-ups and growing up on their stand-ups. Richard Pryor. But Kevin Hart? Ugh. I sat and I watched, and I didn't laugh not once. I was like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, why would y'all even laugh at this? How you laughed at Chris Rock and Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy, and then you can laugh at this? I don't get it. And Bernie Mac. Kings of Comedy, Cedric the Entertainer. I mean, everybody's better than Kevin Hart. Get the hell out of here. Melinda says, yeah, and then they try to compare it to other music that may be violent, but that is not a part of the whole culture. It may just be a few people who are into it, like heavy metal, for example. Exactly, Melinda. Exactly. They're like, well, everybody's got violent. Yeah, but they're not trying to enmesh their people, or they're like making commercials about tea, and it's like heavy metal, and it's like, drink your tea, like, and then people that drink tea are like, I gotta like a heavy metal person, or else I ain't white, right? Like that. They're not doing that. So again, there's this way where they're trying to shame people who don't enmesh themselves. Black people who self-differentiate are shamed back into being enmeshed in toxic culture, right? That's all they're about, is shaming, trying to shame. And somebody, shame. I want to go to Mexico to mama. There's a big fat police there like that. Shame. That's all they do. I'm like, can y'all do something else? God damn, y'all ain't got nothing going on. That's all you do. That's all you talk about. Y'all don't talk about shit. Nothing empowering, nothing progressive. I don't tolerate that at all. Fan Up Live says, and they talk as if they know the characters. To hell with TV. Black fam are always watching non-factors on the tummy tots. Exactly. They'll be like, oh, but that it is true. Because remember when Papa Cosby said, I'm like, Papa Cosby ain't real. That's not real life. They're like, oh yeah, black women been doing that. Remember that one guy? Remember that one guy? And he was like, black women been doing this and black women been doing that. Remember? And then in the movie Roots, they was doing this. And then in the movie, I'm like, why are you naming movies? They can't comprehend fiction from reality. They don't know what's real because they're so brainwashed. And you're going to let that lead you? You're going to submit to somebody who thinks history is some movie he watched? Is that what you're going to do? I'm not doing that, right? I'm not going to do that. But these are the ones that are coming on and being like, oh, you better do what I say. Like, what? You don't even know anything. You don't have basic common sense. I don't know if it was all that scissor from sipping on some scissor. When you get that scissor, lay off the scissor. Okay? Disappointed Dinosaur says, I haven't had a TV since 2009 and I don't miss it. That's what's up. We actually went a few years without having a TV as well. Because it was like, we don't watch TV. Who cares? And then Game of Thrones came out. Ha ha! And that was one of the reasons we started watching TV, like real talk, because like Game of Thrones. And we would watch, that was like once a week. We would watch Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead. And that was it for years, until we started Netflix. A couple of these Netflix shows. He ain't never been funny to me. Baby boy. It was always that same guy, the McDonald's announcer, only at McDonald's. He was the same guy that was like, baby boy. It was like baby boy all the time. And I was like, why would you want to watch this? Like, you can go outside and watch this. You can go outside and watch this. And then there was always the suburban black girls that were like mimicking, the characters and the voices from there, which I didn't understand. And then they would be like, oh, you ain't black, cuz. You're not tapping your head and mimicking the voices that you see in your movies. And I'm like, well, I live directly across from the Trap House Bando. I know a nickel and a dime bag. I know a lot of things you don't know, suburban black girl. You better get out my face. I don't cosplay it. It's real life. I don't understand how your parents can work hard to give you a good life and then you cosplay the hood. I don't understand that shit at all. But it's a look for a lot of people. It's how they make money and it's how they get attention. A lot of cosplayers out here. Then it says, too many non-factors on every channel. I can't stand to watch. Exactly. And if you're watching like mainstream media, I mean, this stuff is atrocious. The brainwashing is so obvious. Sometimes, like when I hear a commercial, I'll laugh out loud at how ridiculous it is with the unapologetic brainwashing. And I'm like, are people really buying into this? And they are. That's their life. I gave up on TV as part of my weight loss journey after I realized that the food commercials were sabotaging my weight loss progress. That's an excellent point, Disappointed Dinosaur. Excellent point. Because it is true. It's true. I don't watch TV like that, like I've said, and I don't see all these commercials and whatnot. And I don't have a craving for fast food. I like to cook. I genuinely love to cook. And when I do get fast food, like sometimes I'll be like, this is gross. Like my husband likes fast food because, his mama couldn't cook, they couldn't season. So hard as she tried to make those, that butter bean casserole and that meatloaf, and bologna stew. My husband wasn't checking for that. So he likes fast food. Like he sees it as like, a little treat. I used to feel the same way, but I don't feel that way anymore. Like if I eat fast food, it's because there's nothing else available. Like I just prefer to make my own food. I know where it came from. I know how many calories it's going to be. I know what I'm putting in it. I know everything is clean and taken care of because I'm making it, right? And that hold that advertising has on so many people, so many Black people, they make it look shiny and pretty for a reason. The sandwich don't come looking like it do on the commercial, and that always deters me from wanting to eat the food, honestly, because I'm like, ew, look at this. This looks like crap. This doesn't look anything like what I envisioned it to look like, right? I'm not like, woohoo, fast food, so decolonize yourself and indoctrinate yourself, stat, or you're not going to level up. You're just not. You're going to constantly be running into the same cycles over and over and over again and wondering why you keep repeating the same patterns. You have to think critically about things. You have to acknowledge what's happening, right? It says, at 7, I couldn't stand Snoop and Dr. Dre. But at that age, I could see how toxic the music was. Yo, straight up, that is so true. I couldn't stand them either. Oh my goodness. And I always, I'll be honest, I never liked Dre. I did like Snoop because of that one video, Snoop Doggy Dog, and then he like turns into a dog. That got me as a kid. He got me good. For a long time, I thought he was just like a happy-go-lucky person. Because he like turned into a dog at the end of the music video. Oh my goodness. Good times. Imagine having this name in the same house as Carisha. Right, exactly. Oh, Lord, why they do us like that? Melinda, Danielle, they set me up. You don't have to divest. Let me tell you something right now. If your parents name you something and it ain't cool and it ain't hip hop, get ready to divest, okay? Because they're gonna make your life a living hell. I said, who the hell named me? I don't understand. Why? I'm the dark-skinned Black sister with the white name. And for years, people were like, you're the dark-skinned Black sister with the white name. You're not as cool as your light-skinned cool sisters, And I was like, well, I'm not trying to be whatever you think is cool. I think I'm cool enough for myself, actually. And they're like, but they're cool. I'm like, how are they cool? Because they light-skinned? With Black names? Okay. Simple people. Lysadra says, good to see you, Lysadra. Lysadra says, I agree. I told my dad I'm not coming over for Christmas. Aw. I'm sorry. I know that's probably was hard for you, Lasadra. If that's the first time that you're like having that discussion. Like, I don't have to call anyone. No one's expecting me to come over. Nobody cares. They don't want old truth teller coming through the door. Okay, I come through the door like Santa Claus with a bag full of books. They don't want books. They don't want facts. So they don't want me coming through the door. Okay. So I never have to have a discussion with anyone about that. Yeah, we don't visit my husband's family either because they didn't know how to act neither. So, toxicity is all over when it comes to dysfunctional families. I'm not watching TV or CNN. Okay. I mean, if I watch, it's with the understanding that these people are not objective. News. I studied journalism, guys. I had a really good time doing it, but it's hard as hell because you got to cite your sources. You got to make sure everything that you research is factual, and you cannot put your own perspective. You cannot have your own opinion laced in there. So the fact that you have these mainstream media outlets, and you can always tell who they think is the good guy or the bad guy, that's the first sign to you that you're being indoctrinated. Understand that. No one is supposed to tell you, especially on the news, these are the good guys and these are the bad guys. They're just supposed to give the news. Instead, you can see the agendas, right? So pay attention to those things. If you do watch whatever it is you're watching, understand every movie you watch, every TV or news outlet that you interact with, they're indoctrinating you for something. Okay? Lasaja says, I've been backing away from my family the last couple of years. It's really sad. Yeah, absolutely. It really is. But it's like, what other choice do you have? You have to protect yourself. Especially when they're determined not to do it. I swear to, it's like, that Jay-Z and Drake song, niggas wanting to kill me and you still with them. Nigga, y'all chill with them. And y'all wonder why we not friends. I mean, they was out for blood. To come at the truth teller, to break that black sheep down. I can't jingle rock with that. I'm not going to do it. I don't have to make that work. Y'all need to heal. I've done my work. And I'm not going to re-enter spaces where I was traumatized and or abused and then expect to have a good time. No. I'm aware that your own family that you're sitting across from, their sole objective is to break you down. They ain't got nothing else better to do. I'm not wasting my holidays on that. Now more than ever, we need the time, the little bit of time that we have for ourselves, to ourselves. If it's not empowering me, I don't want no parts of it. What's your raggedy car? I ain't got nothing to say about who you date. People would project on me, well, you don't like, dudes that have been in jail for years. Okay, but I don't like that. I'm not telling you who to date. I'm telling you what will and will not be around me. People want to act like you stopped them from thought bopping. I never stopped the thought bopper. You want to thought bop? Go right ahead. It's not going to be around me, though. I control what's around me. I'm an adult. I'm not going to put myself in harmful situations and then be like, oh, I didn't have a good time because, half the table was filled with felons. Like this some fucking, jail reform program or something over here. Fuck. Oh, they don't have family. We don't have family. Fuck is y'all doing? You'll be around black folk that want to help other people more than they want to help themselves, more than they want to help their own family. And they're not doing that out of kindness of heart. They're doing that out of enmeshment in Blackistan mentality, pedestalizing foolishness, glorifying any man, no matter what he do, he's to be glorified. Why do I gotta make sure some dude I don't know is getting a plate? Did he make sure I was getting a plate? All those years I was in foster care, I didn't get a plate. Fuck out of here. You know what's selfish? It's not having foresight about your actions. What's selfish is bringing any who shot John into your family fold. You know, I'll never forget that situation with Jennifer Hudson's family and her sister's baby daddy. What he did to her family. You gotta watch who you bring around your family. I'll be damned. So you're selfish if you don't give into the family dynamic. All of a sudden, what they're doing there, when they're telling you you're selfish, telling you changed up, all of a sudden, once again, you're responsible for why everyone else is failing. Ain't that what the Manny Pygmisha sphere does? They blame black women who are married in stable relationships for why everyone else is failing. They're blaming this small, right? They're like, it's LGBT and it's educated black women and it's black women that's married. You're blaming some of the smallest groups of people in the community for the overall mass dysfunction of the majority. Is that what you're doing? Yeah, and that's what they're gonna do. Because that's what people who don't think do. They blame, they shame. Little tactics to get power. You're responsible for why everyone is failing. If you could just do what everyone else is doing, be single, die alone like all the other black women, right? Get old, never get married, have kids out of wedlock. Why you couldn't do that? And keep your mouth shut, of course. You had to change it up and get married. You don't have a bunch of babies out of wedlock. Why you had to change it up? You're the reason why everything is dysfunctional. You're the reason why everyone is failing. Absolute craziness. And understand that the level of dysfunction becomes more clear as you unpack, examine, and discuss abusive and toxic family cultural norms and family secrets. Again, the more you self-differentiate, the more you empower yourself, the more you keep coming over to DanieSteel and getting you some of this Steely juice, the more you examine this stuff, the more objective you are, the more you unpack it, the more you discuss it. When you bring up, hey, so-and-so is an abuser. Why are they here? Hey, so-and-so, you hurt me like this. Where is my apology? The more you do that, the more the level of dysfunction that these family systems you're a part of are operating under is going to start to become more and more clear to you. And that's what they don't want. And that's why they want you to be enmeshed. And that's why anyone that self-differentiates, anyone that does something different, oh, well, they're not black. That's why they're doing something different, because they're not black. Like, no, but they are black. So now what's next? What's next? What else do you have? No, they're not black. They're not black. They're not black. Shame is the name of the game. To keep you quiet about the dysfunction. All right? When we talk about shame, I'm talking about not the noun, which is a feeling of shame, but the verb, the action of making someone feel ashamed. You have nothing to be ashamed about. That's why they're using shame as a verb, to make you feel ashamed. Understand that. That's a tactic. And it's going to keep you from leveling up. And it's going to keep you from being in a worthwhile relationship. It will. I promise you. Okay, go ahead and listen to what I said, and then go back and do the same shit you've been doing. And observe, nothing will change. Nothing changes if nothing changes. You're going to have to be that catalyst. You're going to have to be the catalyst for change in your own life. Divestment hurts. It's going to hurt when it heals too. Because you've done nothing wrong. And they ostracize you for it. That hurts. Now, are you going to deal with that? Or are you going to keep giving them what they want so you don't have to deal with that pain? I don't know. I don't want to know what the pain of not being around my family, even though I know they're not healthy for me. Even though I know they're not productive to my healing process, I would rather feel the pain that comes from being around them than deal with the new pain of what it would feel like to not be around them. And that's why a lot of people stay stuck in the same predicament. But it's like, when are you going to grow up? You really want to live your whole life the way your family tells you to? That's really what you want to do? Then don't complain. So when you get to these family functions, and as a truth teller, you bring truth, right? How I brought truth, which is bringing up to my family, hey, look, we could have been sitting around discussing things as adults, and instead you guys are watching Kevin Hart, right? Now all of a sudden, the focus shifts from the toxic, abusive family member, right, who turned on Kevin Hart so that you didn't have to address what they did to you a few months back, right? It switches from that toxic, abusive family member to attacking your character, right? So again, you're selfish, right? I was told I was a narcissist and a schizophrenic. I'm like, maybe if you stayed in school, bruh, you wouldn't throw around terms like that. That you sound foolish saying, honestly, because you're more likely describing yourself. But these are the tactics that they'll use. You know, to wrap it up, I want to remind you this holiday season, as you go into whatever holidays it is you celebrate or don't celebrate, to reserve your energy for yourself. People might come out the woodwork for all sorts of reasons on you, especially if they can see and feel that you're leveling up, self-differentiating, doing your own thing, no longer susceptible to their shaming tactics. That's when people love to pop back up out of the woodwork like they ain't do nothing wrong. You have the right to reserve your energy for yourself. You don't have to entertain people 24/7. You don't have to do that. If someone says, oh, well, I want to talk about this, you don't have to talk about it with them. You can be like, well, you know what? Right now, I'm not interested in that conversation. Maybe another time. Reserve your energy for yourself. If you know being around certain people, that's going to exhaust you, and then you're going to have nothing left for yourself, reconsider if you want to be around those people. So I'm going to read you guys' comments. Thank you so much for listening. And then I'm going to head out. Before I read you guys' comments, I will be live on Viral Debates. Type that into chat. I will be live today at 7:20 on YouTube on Viral Debates channel. We're going to be talking about colorism in film. This is something that I studied in undergrad, and again, it goes into when we talk about colorism in America. Like I said before, I never think no light skin look prettier than me, but the overall pedestalization of light-skinnedness, of light-skinned people in America at large, because people will say, oh, it's just in the Black community and we all look Black. That's not true. That's not true. And that's why, when it comes to colorism, and I talk about it on a macro level, not a micro level, because ain't no light skin never take no man of mine. You understand? It's never happened. Okay? When we talk about these things on a macro level to understand the impact of colorism, the way that people understand it internationally. People understand internationally that people with lighter skin are treated better. That's a general understanding. That in America, and especially in Blackistan community, people don't want to admit, and they want to say, you was mad because I was treated better than you. And are you treated better now? Are you happy now? Are you happy now? I don't know. Nobody cares that you were the first person to get a little Debbie snack cake, okay, after dinner. No, nobody cares. Okay, we're talking about the larger implications of colorism as they impact Black peoples. Okay, so we're going to be talking about that tonight at 7:20 on Viral Debates YouTube channel. That's hosted by Kadira. I've had her on as a guest on my What's Happening series. If you want to check that out, she's a beautiful young Black woman, an actress in New York City like myself. And we're both, proud descendants of the American enslaved peoples. We're both proud descendants of that, and we both work on empowering our people in our community. She's a young Black woman that I highly respect. So make sure to go over to Viral Debates tonight at 7:20 p.m. for that conversation. This is a beautiful dark-skinned Black woman. I think you can learn a lot from her. Follow her right now on YouTube and be sure to be there for that conversation. I want to see y'all over there because we're going to have a really good conversation on that. And if you're light-skinned and you want to disagree or whatever, come on over, and let's talk about that. And they aren't literally singing about killing each other. Exactly. And I've told you guys before about hip hop, how they have to emphasize that they are hurting specifically each other, right? So fellow Black men and Black women, right? They have to specify that. It can't seem like some general thing that they're doing to people. It has to be specified. And then they'll say, well, I have no control of that. Okay, but Oprah had control over everything that she said when she was given a show, right? But when women do it, right, and they're like, all these women that they feel are in power, who they feel like aren't saying the things they want to hear, they blame those women in media. When there's always somebody above you, right? But because hip hop is largely men, they say no, they couldn't be responsible for what they have to say. What do you mean? A man is always responsible for what he says. A man is always responsible. A male is to be controlled. So yeah, which one are you? Luna says, yes, I'm so grateful to be away from that chaos. I don't even like to go to some parts of city that I lived in with those people and making new traditions this year is going to make it enjoyable. Exactly. You know, I really love when me and my husband go on vacation during the holidays. That's something that we enjoy doing. And, you know, that's become a tradition for us. You know what I'm saying? Imagine that. Instead of having to deal with a bunch of toxicity, I get to go on vacation and unwind and be in a warm, you know, tropical place and have a great time. Yeah, I think I'll make new traditions. Thanks. And even if you don't, you know, have the means to go on vacation, just getting with your friends, getting with a loved one, maybe even just being by yourself and just treating yourself for the day, right? Cooking for yourself. There's so many things that you can do. It's hard being alone, but what's the alternative? Dealing with toxicity? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. You know, my channel could have blown up like everybody else's channel did and going around participating in foolishness, because that's what sells. That's what people want to see. I'm not here for that. People participate in foolishness and then they want to rebrand and pretend like, oh, I don't know why people are coming at me and saying this to me and saying that. Or people are coming at you sideways because you came into this sideways, playing a fool. I don't deal with none of that foolery at all. I don't have people telling me stuff sideways. The most they'll say is, you're a swoller. I'm like, oh, okay. You okay? You gonna be all right? Nobody cares. Black women celebrities will uplift white women and their yeah, what he did for his Cuban wife and her money laundering family. I don't. Who are we talking about? Michael Jackson? Oh, Michael Jordan. I was like, what? I can't believe Michael Jackson was okay. Yeah. You're right. Investment isn't easy at all, but that's what I have to do. Done with my family. Exactly. Like, you know, I talked about the person got another. Danie, family loves saying blood thicker than water as their way of making you feel guilty and to get out of jail free card for bad behavior. Exactly, Percy. Exactly. Blood thicker than water, then act like it. Where was blood thicker than water when you were supposed to be there for me? Oh, you want everything to be about you. Name a time when you were there for me. I've literally asked that. Nobody could name it. They were just like, oh, you need to get over yourself. No, you kiss my ass. How about that? Get over that. I'm never going to get over myself. That's how I choose to live my life. I choose to live my life loving myself. If you choose to live your life dusty identified or playing a role, pretending to be tough or hood or this and that, when you're just a regular person out here, same as everybody else, you ain't about that life. They want to shame you for being square. They want to shame you for having a good job. They want to shame you for celebrating the things that you worked hard for. I'll be damned, because they don't have it. So I'm supposed to sit around and watch a Kevin Hart special instead of being proud of my accomplishments, because that's all you can do, right? No. I'm going to celebrate my achievements. I'm not going to lower myself so that other people are comfortable. You can no longer afford to do that. Do you feel that happening in your lives, where you feel like you're at a place where literally I can't afford to keep pretending that we're on the same level, fam? It's been a good game, huh? It's been a good ride. You had a long time with me pretending that you and I were operating from the same place. We are not operating from the same place. My healing journey is far surpasses yours, because I work harder than you. Okay, that's why. At everything I do, we're not the same. We are not the same. We are not the same. We can still be family now. You still want to be family? And what you'll often find is people being like, no, I don't want to have a relationship with you if you're not going to pretend that you and I are the same. Then you won't have a relationship with me. There's nothing the same about you and me. I can recognize that, and I respect you for the choices you've made. If the choice you made was not to go to college, if the choice you made was not to go to trade school, not to learn a craft, if that's the choice you made, and you decide to take a chance on doing what you want your whole life, I respect that. That's what you did. That's why your life looks the way it does. And my life looks the way it does because of what I've done. That has to be respected both ways. Melinda Satter said, yep, you could, or whatever the darkest max shade is, and they will still call you not black because you don't want to dwell in their BS. Be happy. Be yourself. You be happier in the long run. Exactly, Melinda. You know, I've had suburban black people, hood black people that's never done nothing for the hood, but you so happy to rep the hood. So give back to who you take from. Give back to the people who given so much to you. People that date out. I've had dudes that have laid out and dated out. Try to tell me I'm not black when I'm clearly black for dating choices. Right? You're not black because you got an education. You're not black because as a black woman, you understand that you are a woman and black. Because these dudes certainly want to be proud to be a man and black. So I am a woman and black, and therefore I need to put women's issues at the forefront of my identity. Not your identity as a male, women's issues. Because that's my experience, right? So you're not black. You didn't eat the dry cornbread, you're not black. You don't wear Jordans, you're not black. You choose to wait to get married before you have children, you're not black. I mean, it's insane. And again, these are tactics that the powerless use to try to pretend to have some power that they don't have. So I can't be fooled by a powerless person. All the tactics that you use, I'm well aware that you're using. I can't be played. Period. So keep those things in mind this holiday season. I'm so glad that I was able to have this chat with you guys. Thank you, Percy, for that super chat. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys all for joining me. I really wish you, I mean, of course, I'll be back before Christmas. I'm going to be on Viral Debates live on YouTube tonight at 7:20 for the discussion on colorism in film. You definitely want to be there for that. And of course, I'll be back soon with more content before the holiday. And also, my Patreon is always up and running. If you want to join us over there for, more family time and bougie conversations and a lot of fun vlogs and things like that. So I'm always here. Lysadra says, I'll be there. Great. It would be good to see you, Lysadra. I hope you guys all join me tonight at 7:20 on Viral Debates. And I hope that this conversation has helped some of y'all going into the holiday season, dealing with family. I hope it's helped you the way understanding these things has helped me. And that's what I wish for y'all over here, truly. Love and healing of yourself, first and foremost. All right? So I will see you guys soon. Have a great day. Maybe I'll see you later tonight. Bye. Mwah.